2021 year in review. Kind of a bad year, I think.
Yeah.
I think overall,
disappointing.
Very mid-year. Let's go through it.
Some amazing things, though.
Let's go through Marvel, who obviously pumped out the most content. Some of it bad, some of it good. This is a collective ranking going from worst to best. So the last place we have Venom.
Yeah.
Just
mid.
Looking back, I think we were like, yeah, it was really good for like what it is, but like it really
we gave
wasn't.
it like a 4-star, right?
Yeah, it dropped down to 3.5 for me.
I honestly think for me it might even be a 3, 2.5.
But yeah, it was really bad. Like they wasted Carnage. They didn't even try to do anything. But like, what I don't get is if they're not gonna try to do anything in terms of like having real motivation for the characters, why would they do Shriek and why wouldn't they just make Carnage a hero?
Yeah, I don't know.
Then you could have done more time with Venom. I don't know. At number 9, we have Black Widow. I think it was solid for the first 2 acts. But the third act, like another thing we're going to have on here, just absolutely ruins it.
Well, I think the best part about this movie isn't even Black Widow.
It's Yelena.
It's Yelena and like everybody else in the family.
Yeah.
Except for Black Widow.
No, I think...
Like she adds to it.
I think the
feel
mom
like
is the weakest.
probably the weakest, yeah.
Yelena is the standout. I think Black Widow's like... But she's just like coasting for this whole movie. Like everything's happening around her instead of her like engaging in the plot. So it makes it kind of boring. And then... the end, Dreykov is a really weak villain, and though I do gotta say, Taskmaster, even though the twist was disappointing, any fight scene they had in the first 2 acts was really good.
Yeah.
Especially that first one on the bridge. Like he does the Spider-Man swing, the Black Panther thing. Number 8, we have What If. I think a heap of whatever in some solid.
Yeah, and I think it's also because the Doctor Strange episode was so good.
Yeah. Episode 4 is incredible, and then maybe episode 8. And there's probably one other one that I can't remember. But overall, like the first 2 episodes, mid. And everything else is somewhat unmemorable because we don't remember it right now. So at number 7, we have WandaVision.
Okay. I know you think this was good until the finale.
Yeah.
But I think like the show was good, but based on how everyone talks about this show, mid. Like in my opinion, compared to everybody else.
I don't know. I do really enjoy it. I think that it's the most unique Marvel project up until the finale, where it falls apart when they could have done a more like simple CGI, almost non-existent finale. They just go big with a stupid and not even well-made final fight, and maybe when the funniest thing they've ever done in the MCU, where the dude who's just doing his job, you know, like the agent guy, who everyone thought was going to be like, I don't know, you know, the old dude, whatever, he shoots the twins. Like he shoots her kids.
That was so unmotivated.
Yeah, the entire show he's an a-hole, but he's just doing his job. But then he just becomes a serial killer. And it's like, okay, what's going on?
And then people thought he was Ultron.
I
think that's the problem for me with the show. Theories ruined it.
Yeah, but in the case of like Quicksilver, that's just straight up wasted potential.
That was horrible. Oh my god, I forgot about that. That was horrible.
The only thing that makes that good is Evan Peters' delivery of like when he's like boner. Like that's funny, but like only because he does it.
Yeah, that was horrible.
What a waste. And then we have at number 6 we have Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I think instead of the finale being the problem, it's the villain in this.
The villain, like
I like John Walker.
Oh, John Walker's. I don't even really think of him as like that much of a villain.
He I think was him, Bucky and Falcon are my favorite parts of this. But like the Power Broker, oh my god, atrocious. And then the Flag Smashers are confused, like the writers aren't even sure if they're villains or not. Because in back-to-back scenes, they'll be like, yeah, they just did like a major terrorist act, but it's because they need food or drugs or something.
What's her name?
Carly Morgenthau or something like that.
Yeah, she was annoying, but like, what was Agent Carter? Whatever. What was her name?
Sharon Carter.
Sharon Carter. It was just because they didn't know what to do with her character anymore. That's the only reason they put her in here. And she's related to Captain America. That's like the only reason.
Mid.
They really think her aunt, who like kept sacrificing everything, like, and had a big inspiration on her daughter, on her niece. Her niece would then go and do this.
Yeah. No. We then have Hawkeye at number 5. I think well placed here. Like it's an alright show. I think again the finale was just weak for me.
I think this one was very enjoyable though.
I think it was enjoyable overall.
I think it was weak, but like I thought it was very enjoyable. This one felt more like a TV show.
Yeah, it felt like well placed for what a TV show should be. At number 4 we have Loki. Still, I think it's the best show that they did. A ton of fun. and Mobius. Oh no, I missed Jared Leto. Awesome. I mean, he stole the show. The idea of variants, introduction of the multiverse, the TVA being super interesting. And I think the finale being more subdued with a good performance by Jonathan Majors was able to make it a much stronger finale.
Yeah, I think this one has the most interesting things going on in it. And I think, though, Hawkeye, what I will give it, I feel like it has the most character development for its characters in its show.
Yeah. Loki does.
I think Hawkeye has more. Because Loki just gets back to how he was in Ragnarok pretty much.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Number 3, Shang-Chi. I think that I like it less than most people. I see a whole ton of praise for it, but I'm like, yeah, I'm solid. Like, I see people saying it's top 5 MCU or something. I'm like, no, it'd probably be middle of the road for me. Shang-Chi, great protagonist. I just think that the finale was kind of weak. The whole, like, Awkwafina hitting that shot to save the day was so bad. But yeah, Wenwu, solid villain. Yeah, I mean, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
And number 2, definitely our most controversial. I see this movie shit on a ton. Eternals. Yeah, I still really enjoy it.
I think it was directed really well. The characters are likable enough where...
Yeah, I mean, I remember them. I liked how it was told. I think the biggest thing I could give it is maybe that the like main villains weren't so interesting, but that really isn't the point. There really isn't a main villain because it's just motivation of each of the Eternals.
I think out of this movie, the other standout is probably Camille Nanjiani.
Yeah, I like Cersei a lot too, though, and Druig. I think all of them. If given more time,
he kind of was not like he was kind of more. He was not like.
I think he did a lot for how little he
exactly.
had.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
For, like,
so
how much? Because Cersei's pretty much like the leader now.
Yeah.
And like the movie's more so, I'd say more so her movie out of everybody. That for what he was very memorable.
I'm just nervous this isn't gonna get a sequel because I think that.
No way. Marvel.
Like some things, I can't think of any example, but like with a fully fledged trilogy, this could have been incredible. Really fleshing out all these characters and stuff. But if we don't, when we're just left with this and they show up throughout the MCU or whatever, it's kind of like, that's disappointing because I thought that what they did with this was some of the most interesting that they did in a long time.
Yeah, it's very out there.
And number 1, obviously.
No Way Home.
No Way Home. It's incredible. We talked about this a lot. We both loved it. 5 stars.
Yeah,
5 out of 5. Let's talk about some DC stuff. The Suicide Squad, I think, was the most memorable.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, definitely either probably my second favorite DC thing ever. All the characters were completely memorable. Fun action set pieces. A lot of tension because it's like truly, everyone can die.
And it's a lot of fun too.
Yeah.
Stakes are high too, obviously.
Just a great James Gunn movie. We then have, in terms of the only other live action DC project this year was Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League. Definitely overly long. It's hard to judge because we watched this together and it was easy to just like talk instead of watch because
I still think
boring.
it was pretty fun though. I'd have to obviously watch it.
Solid.
I think it was a solid movie.
I think that it would be wild if he did another cut, but I think it would be cool to see a cut that's more like feature length. 2 hours 45 minutes.
He wouldn't have been able to make this into a movie.
Yeah, so it'd be cool to see what this could have been as a movie, so I can actually watch this without having to bawl my eyes out in boredom.
That's the thing, though. I feel like all the really scenes that people praise are the small scenes.
Yeah.
Which he probably would have cut out.
I don't know. Oh, is that true though? Because nobody likes the stuff where like the people are singing, or the Wonder Woman score, or the excessive slow motion, where like.
He definitely would have kept the Wonder Woman thing in at the beginning with the bomb, which I really don't care about.
Yeah.
And like I feel like the stuff with Cyborg, some of it would have been cut out, which was really good.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel that in retrospect, it'd be nice to see like he knows what works and what doesn't. So let's see like the best cut of this or whatever, or someone else can just do it. Then we have Batman: The Long Halloween. I've read the comic beforehand. It was one of the few things that I've ever done that with, and it's so much better that this one it kind of ruined this for me. It's whatever. I don't really remember much about it, honestly.
Yeah, me either.
There was a couple other ones. Justice Society. It was like a multiverse thing, so it was pretty cool. There's some cool stuff in it. And then Batman Soul of the Dragon was horrible. Let's talk about. Oh, there was also Injustice, which I didn't watch,
and I heard that From what I heard, it was horrible, and that they changed a lot about the story that was good in the first place.
Yep. So, good job, guys. Let's talk about some other stuff that happened. French Dispatch, I think, other than No Way Home, is the movie of the year.
Yeah.
It was just peak Wes Anderson in such a good way.
I love the buildings. It's just so good.
It's so good. The animated bits.
Oh my God,
all the
yeah.
stories. The Benicio, the prison bit. I mean...
And then obviously Wes Anderson, like the biggest thing I feel like with his movies is his use of color. Right?
Yeah, it's incredible.
And I think that because all his movies are colorful, but this one,
the way he used it was so unique.
Mainly in black and white, and when he uses the color, it's really nice.
Yeah, because it's just like it catches you in this way. And I do have to rewatch this to really like look at it, but it does so much. It's really incredible. Dune, most people's probably movie of the year. I thought it was really solid. Maybe a bit overrated.
I was kind of impressed because
I was impressed. I gotta say.
I was expecting it to be a movie that I didn't like, but a bunch of people liked.
Yeah, I was like, this is gonna be a boring, self-indulgent thing, but it was incredible. Like fully engaging in terms of story, incredibly shot. Score was incredible. I loved it. And I think the biggest praise I can give it is I was fully engaged after we'd already seen two movies. This was our third movie in a row in a movie theater. So. We then have No Time to Die.
I really enjoyed this movie.
John fell asleep for this movie.
Hey, it was like 12.
It was very late. We were coming back from homecoming. We were in our suits and we're
like, just go see a James Bond movie.
A new James Bond movie. I really enjoyed it. I have never seen a James Bond movie. This is the first one, I think. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I was emotionally distraught at the end, even though I really didn't know this guy before this, but it was long, but it was really good.
I am disappointed I didn't fall asleep though.
Yeah, you gotta give it a rewatch. Then we have Bo Burnham's Inside, which is kind of the big thing earlier this year.
Imagine this one picture of the year.
I hate the fans. It's ruined this a little bit for me.
Yeah.
But I gotta say,
Slaps.
It really did. It was really good.
The song slapped.
The songs were good. How depressed this made me. Yeah, I mean, good. Quiet Place Part 2. I think it was solid.
Yeah, I actually did really enjoy this.
Yeah, I think...
Probably best horror movie of the year for sure.
Oh, yeah. Haven't seen Malignant or whatever, but this was really good.
What the fuck is Malignant?
James Wan's new movie.
I haven't heard anything about it.
It was, so Quiet Place 2. Good sequel. I liked a lot of it. Then we have Last Night in Soho. Falls apart in the third act, I'd say. Mm-hmm. It really becomes like a cliche. I was getting scared. I was thinking...
Who's the director again?
Edgar Wright. I was thinking this could be one of my favorite movies of all time because it was giving very Mulholland Drive vibes. My second favorite movie of all time.
This is his first psychological thriller, right?
Yeah, he only really has done comedies. Baby Driver was more dramatic than usual, but it was a comedy.
I feel like he could be good at this was a good step in, I feel like, for his first
I mean, the first two acts were incredible, psychological thrillers. It's scary, but it kind of just falls into tropey. The twist is incredibly predictable. The use of zombie creatures was okay. It loses the psychological element of it and becomes just a horror movie, and it's not good. Then we have Halloween Kills. Maybe the most underwhelming movie of the year.
They wasted
unmemorable. We had a weird experience watching it, and the
only cool part was him killing a bunch of people, but it was a bunch of unnecessary killing.
Unnecessary kills and unnecessary ties to other Halloween movies. We then have Fear Street Trilogy. I watched the first two.
I didn't watch any of it.
It was
okay.
Definitely not the best horror movie of the year.
Was it very tropey?
Very tropey. That's the thing. It plays into it on purpose, but
doesn't make it good.
Satire doesn't. There needs to be a layer to it that this doesn't have. Yeah. We then have Fast and Furious 9. Oops, sorry, F9. Slick. Oh. This movie was so fucking bad. It was it's starting. I think it peaked with so bad it's good in F7, and now it's coming back down. It's no, it's losing the fun and just becoming bad again. So there's always gonna be a layer of satire to this for me because of him being, in the early movies he doesn't give many family speeches, but when he starts it's super funny and he keeps doing it. It just becomes more and more. They go to space. It's super absurd.
Mm-hmm.
Old.
This one was kind of a shock, a little bit. I would say. I was expecting to make fun of it and be laughing the entire time.
But they were like good bits.
Yeah,
I think I have the same opinion as the second the credits started rolling, which was that movie was incredibly in the middle.
Yeah,
like half of it was good and half was horrible.
Okay, yeah. I was just a little surprised though because I was like,
yeah.
I was expecting to be way worse than it was.
You see, I wasn't totally surprised because I'm like, M. Night Shyamalan has done good stuff. He's done horrible stuff.
I thought he's only made like 2 good movies.
He has. But they were actually pretty good movies. So it's like, there's the capability, which is why I was like, okay.
Well, I knew there was the capability, but like watching the trailer, I was like, oh, never mind, he fucked up.
But there was a lot of bad, like weird pregnancy stuff, and like the twist was all right.
Yeah.
It was like whatever. Then you had The Conjuring 3. Like this happened this year.
Movie I've ever seen in my entire life.
The Conjuring is still incredible, and the fact that this is how this thing has fallen.
So shitty. the pills at the end. Oh my god.
Yeah, and the locket.
So bad.
And it fell into the tropes that it avoided in the first one.
And also the problem is like they didn't even focus on the case whatsoever.
Yeah, it's almost like a satire of the first one, which is so weird. It's like the first one, like started this, and then movies, all like horror movies in that one came out in 2010. So like every movie in the 2010s has been like trying to do that in like a corny way. We're trying to do that and it is corny. And this one is just all those movies.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of sad. Then we have Army of the Dead. It was so bad.
I haven't seen it.
Incredibly overrated. The camera was annoying because the entire time it's the camera, when the nightmare scene where it's like half blurry and the character's face is only half in because it's such a shallow depth of field. The entire
I watched this movie.
Entire movie, John. There is not a time where the characters aren't completely in frame. That is so annoying. It's hard to describe. So,
this next one that he has on this list is probably gonna win Best Picture.
Jungle Cruise, baby.
So good. We only watched like 1/3.
We watched the back half of this, maybe, if that.
Yeah.
We were sneaking in between movies, and we were like, we had to hide in one, and we just went to Jungle Cruise. And I was like, this is just Pirates of the Caribbean, but Disney.
It was Pirates of the Caribbean and what movie? We said it was another movie. Like it was a combination of these 2 movies.
Probably Jumanji.
Oh yeah, that's what we said. Combination of.
It's like literally just Pirates of the Caribbean, but modern Disneyfied.
Rock literally he wears the same outfit in every movie.
It's the same outfit he wore, and like, it's just so weird. Like there's a scene where like Rock definitely wrote in that he had to kiss Emily Blunt and like stuff like that, man. Then we have The Little Things. John, remember what happened with this one? Good. John texted me and he's like, "Have you seen The Little Things?"
I thought it was good at first,
and I was like, "No." And so I was like, "I'll check that out." And I swear to God, it was the worst movie of this year.
Yeah, it was
for
so
me.
bad.
It was absolutely atrocious. I was watching this and I was honestly thinking, John, what did you get from this movie?
Nothing.
What am I missing? But yeah.
The only thing that made it enjoyable was watching it with Mom.
Oh, see, Jared Leto is what made this bearable. It wasn't bearable. I pretty much just like did other stuff. And
I want to see that movie, but the entire thing with just Jared Leto.
We should do the Jared Leto cut. We then have some movies we haven't seen. Mortal Kombat. Heard it was horrible.
Oh wait, House of Gucci came out this year too.
All right. Oh yeah, House Gucci and The Last Duel, both horrible.
Has The Last Duel even come out yet?
Yeah, Ridley Scott. He complained because we're all us millennials, John. We're always on our fucking cell phones and we don't want to learn anything anymore. Whatever.
Are you sure The Last Duel came out?
Yeah. Her Last Duel was better. I heard that House Gucci was bad and Last Duel was better but boring. Well, I heard it was good, but nobody wants to see it because it's boring. Come on, let's be honest here.
It has 85 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Then we have The Matrix. Haven't seen it. Don't want to see it. Heard it's bad. Mid. Like it tried. A good 2.5. 30.5
million only. That's how much it made me like a stack cast.
Free Guy came out. We've been seeing trailers for years about it. And I heard it was actually a surprise.
Lost $70 million.
Oh my god. That's not even accounting for marketing.
Yeah. Well, I think it's just because I don't think anyone was really seeing movies in October except for us.
No, people were. Remember Venom did good? Godzilla made almost 500 million. Speaking of Godzilla vs. Kong, it was surprisingly fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I think that it revived the MonsterVerse.
It was a little bit more on the wacky side.
Yeah, but it was
compared to how it started with Godzilla.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
but it was still really.
But it's
enjoyable.
better than Godzilla King of the Monsters because they realized we don't care about those humans.
Mm-hmm.
So we just got monsters fighting and it looked good. Red Notice, I guess, is the most streamed thing on Netflix.
Why?
Didn't watch it?
Mm.
I know nobody who watched this movie.
What?
I don't know anyone who's seen this movie.
I know people who have. I know a decent amount of people who were like, "It's so good." Shut the fuck up. No one
Ooh.
cares about you. Women.
Oh, well, that's their problem.
Cut that out.
Space Jam: A New Legacy. Bad, probably.
I forgot it was a basketball game.
It would probably. You saw this?
Yeah.
Why did you see this movie, John?
Max wanted to watch it.
Did you financially support it?
No.
Okay.
God, no. It came out on HBO Max. You think I was financially supporting this shit?
Bad?
Yeah.
Raya and the Last Dragon came out.
Didn't see it.
Neither did I. Heard it was mid. See this? You know what we've been using a lot? Mid. I think that it's a good.
I haven't even seen
here.
Luca.
Luca, yeah, that came out. It's Pixar.
Yeah, I haven't even seen it. All I know is Silencio Bruno.
Oh. Pig. From what I've heard, it's Nicolas Cage doing a good movie for once. He's come out.
Not for once.
Well,
it's
no,
50,
here's how.
50.
Sorry, he does like a year or two of bad movies, and he does one good movie, and this is that one. Then he's gonna do a couple of bad movies and do a good one. So.
He likes lowering the expectations.
Exactly. Diary of a Wimpy Kid also came out, and I heard it turned out to be really, really bad.
That came out? The animated series?
The animated one, yeah.
How could you mess up the animated
It was
one?
a rehash of the first movie. They didn't even try to do anything else.
Actually.
It was just bad.
It was just bad animation too and stuff.
It was it was weird animation. So after this, I feel an immense wave of sadness.
No Way Home is gonna win Best Picture.
No Way Home should probably win Best Picture, if we're all being honest.
Well, French
here.
Dispatch should, but it's not going to.
Yeah, no, if Wes Anderson doesn't get nominated in every category, I'm gonna lose my mind. So, anyway, I'm not excited for these Oscars. And in terms of Belfast and other acclaimed movies this year, bad.
Oh, Belfast is his other.
It's my Nomadland.
Yeah, it's his Nomadland for this year.
I hated Nomadland and it won, which is very scary for this. Hopefully it's not a rehash. But nonetheless, yeah, I mean, it's just so weak. Not even looking at, from a blockbuster perspective, it's absolutely horrid.
Yeah.
There were 5 standouts. And from a film perspective, you have a handful of good stuff. French Dispatch, Dune, Last Stand So was solid inside. But, usually there's, movies that sneak up. Minari,
There wasn't really anything like that
last year. Yeah, obviously even Parasite 2020 Oscars. It's no one's talking about it. Then Oscar season comes, and it's the biggest movie.
And then there was Trial of Chicago 7.
Trial of Chicago
This
7,
year was
Judas and the Black
worse.
Messiah. But there's nothing that even touches any of the last year's Best Picture noms.
I heard Don't Look Up is pretty bad too.
Adam McKay. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of sad.
The movies that should have been really good this year weren't.
I'm trying to figure out if we're feeling the effects of the pandemic now, because these movies were probably filmed last year.
Mm-hmm.
So is that why they're not as good?
That could be.
Who knows?
Yeah, because a lot of these movies that probably came out last year, people were probably waiting on because of the
2020.
box office and stuff too.
Yeah.
So because I remember a lot of movies started coming out after Godzilla vs Kong did really well.
Yeah, that was the big one.
That's probably, but that was this year.
Yeah, but 2020, a lot of those movies were 2019. So they just came out. And
Yeah, I think that those ones though, it's because a lot of those were the smaller, lower budget movies. So that's probably
they would
why.
be at film festivals that already only had 1,000 people, so it wasn't a big deal. And this year, just nothing.
Disappointing.
Sad. Even Marvel didn't really deliver, I don't think. I think it's
Yeah.
just an alright year for them, other than they have a few standout for me. And
The honest main standout is just No Way Home.
No Way Home. I still think Eternals, but
I feel like No Way Home out of all of them is far.
I think it's hard because that would stand so much apart.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's a year in review. A very depressing one. Hopefully next year's better. Check us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at reboredpodcast. Check us out anywhere you listen to podcasts. At rebored, subscribe. I have a headache. Goodbye. Thank you.
Goodbye. I just realized